When it comes to the driver market in golf, the leading brand manufacturers are always searching for one thing and one thing only, and that thing is speed. It's a speed race, and each year that passes, it becomes harder and harder to make those marginal gains. Last year, Callaway released what for them was undoubtedly their fastest ever driver when they launched the Maverick. And this year, they're claiming that they've outdone themselves. This is the brand new Callaway Epic. It is new for 2021, and they're saying it's by far their fastest driver ever. Now, it's become a popular trend that we've been seeing with the leading players in the market. This year, Callaway have indeed launched 3 different heads for their Epic range. Now, structurally, the technology is the same. We're going to go into the details of how they've made those improvements in just a moment. But here are the 3 heads. You've got the Epic Max, you've got the Epic Speed, and you've got the Epic Max LS. The Epic Max is targeted at your higher handicapper. This is the most forgiving driver in the range. It's got most adjustability, it's got most draw bias, and if you want to launch the ball higher, find more fairways, this is the club for you. If you're only interested in swing speed and ball speed, everything has been poured into making the Epic Speed the fastest driver that Callaway have ever produced, and that's what's going to appeal to a lot of the players that end up using this particular club. And then you've got the Epic Max LS. It's targeted towards a lower handicapper, someone with a higher swing speed, someone who's already got those optimal launch conditions, and if they want low spin, which is really going to achieve the maximum distance, this is the driver that they will gravitate towards. So those are the 3 different heads. Let's look at the technology inside this club. Callaway have been kind enough to allow us to take an Epic driver apart, and if we remove this flash face SS21, what you can see is the key piece of technology here. I'll hold it up for you. This is what really is the game changer for the Epic range. This is called the AI Speed Frame. It's an evolution of the jailbreak technology that we found in the Maverick driver, and the jailbreak technology was instrumental in allowing that to become such a fast driver. This, Callaway say, is an improvement, and I want to keep it as simple as possible, but essentially what this does is it widens and extends the sweet spot. When you strike a ball, the club face bulges, and this reduces that bulge effect. This frame here basically means that you're achieving similar ball speeds almost regardless of where you're hitting this off the face. Obviously you want to be hitting it out the middle, but what this does is reduces that variance where if you don't quite catch it out of the middle, you tend to lose a lot of speed in other clubs. Callaway are saying that's not the case here. This speed frame, which is really the key thing that everyone's talking about with this club, that allows you to hit the ball and get decent ball speeds, get higher ball speeds, regardless of where you're hitting it off the face. And I'm keen to test out to see whether this is indeed true. So on top of the AI speed frame technology, modifications have been made to the triaxial carbon crown. This now covers a wider, a larger area on the head of the driver itself, which has essentially allowed Callaway to save additional weight. And they've made further savings with the toe patch here. That's enabled them to move more weight towards the heel, which allows the club to be more draw biased, and in total they've saved about 18 grams of weight, and weight savings equate to speed. So when you look at this golf club, and I put one down and we'll take a closer look at it in just a moment, it's a very traditional, it's a very classical looking golf club. A lot of the new brands, a lot of the new clubs that are out on the market, they visibly, externally look like there's a lot of stuff going on. Callaway is hiding a lot of its technology inside the driver head, and that gives golfers who enjoy a classic look, who enjoy a traditional look, this really, as I say, very, very straightforward, sleek, aerodynamic design that you look down on at address. So if that's your preference, it's certainly a driver that will tick that box. Let's now have a look at how it feels, and let's hit some balls and actually get some feedback and get some numbers on the GC quad with it. All right, so I've just spent the last 20 minutes working up a sweat here at Meydan, hitting the Epic Speed and the Epic LS. I've been really going for it, and I am impressed, it's fair to say. Let's look at I guess the aesthetics, the feel of the club before we look at some of the numbers that they produced on the GC quad. For me, the Epic Speed is your instantly recognizable Callaway driver. When you put that down, it's got the same kind of head shape. It's got that very sleek design. There's no real frills going on here. There's no external gadgetry that you can see. And it's got the sound as well. That slightly deader sound, that penetrating ball flight that I associate. I had a Callaway X Hot for 7 years in my bag, so I'm very familiar with the brand. And it's got that unmistakable Callaway feel to it. This one, not so much. If you gave me this unbranded and I didn't know which brand actually produced it, I wouldn't be necessarily confident to say that it was a Callaway. It's a little bit tinnier on the sound of strike. It is obviously the driver that's geared towards a lower spin, and this one is geared towards more of a club head speed. So from my personal preferences, I would probably tend to lean towards the Epic Speed, because I do enjoy that deader sound on impact, that penetrating, that flatter ball flight that you get with Callaway drivers. This to me performed a little bit differently, but it was nonetheless impressive as well. So let's have a look at some of the numbers that we got on the GC Quad. I was really going for this. I was really pleased with what I saw. I was swinging out of my shoes. I got it up to about a club head speed of 115 miles an hour, which for me is absolutely at the top of my limit. And in terms of the ball speed, I was delighted to see both of these drivers into the 160s, which for me, that's a milestone. I'm usually in the 150s. Again, I was going for it, but to get a ball speed with the Epic Max LS of 164.5, 163.9 with the Epic Speed, absolutely delighted with that. I was launching the Epic Speed a little higher, 12.5 degrees versus 10.9, and as a result, I was getting actually a little bit more yardage from the Epic Speed. As I mentioned earlier, I prefer the sound of this, I prefer the feel to it, I prefer the feel on impact, and I generally speaking would tend to gravitate towards this driver, and those numbers would back me up on that. There's nothing really that I'm seeing, even though my ball speed was fractionally more with this one. Again, that could just be dependent on the 6 or 7 shots that I hit and where they came off the face. I was using a Mitsubishi S60 shaft, which is the standard shaft available when you go for a fitting with these clubs, and this is an impressive entry. Callaway have said it's their fastest driver yet. I have to say, on this evidence, I have no reason to disagree with them. The Maverick set new records for them. Well, they might just have gone and surpassed themselves here. The Epic range, I don't want to be cheesy here, but yeah, those numbers, it's pretty epic. The Callaway Epic range will be available to purchase from eGolf Megastore from mid-February. And if you've enjoyed this review, give us a subscribe, comment below, let us know your thoughts. We love hearing from you, and look out for more brand new equipment reviews coming to this channel very soon.